Today, let's dive into a project, one that might sound familiar to some or perhaps completely new to others. That's quietly run on my phone for years. A silent background process, a digital experiment constantly ticking away. It's been a constant presence, a low-key fixture in my app collection. Pi Network, a cryptocurrency project with a unique approach. I first heard about it in late 2020, a time that feels both recent and like a lifetime ago. During a time when everyone was searching for the next big thing, the next crypto moonshot, the next digital goldmine. The world was buzzing with possibilities and everyone wanted a piece of the action. I stumbled on a forum post, buried deep within the endless scroll of the internet, about a new cryptocurrency you could mine on your phone, a concept that immediately raised eyebrows. Just tap a button daily. Seemed simple, almost too simple. My initial reaction? Total skepticism. The crypto space was already full of outlandish claims and dubious projects. Free money from a phone app? It screamed scam. Red flags were waving in my mind. But then I noticed it was started by Stanford PhDs, a detail that made me pause and reconsider, which gave it a hint of credibility. It wasn't a guarantee of success, but it was enough to pique my interest. I skimmed their white paper. I wanted to understand the underlying technology and the vision behind the project. The idea wasn't to out-tech Bitcoin, to create a faster or more efficient blockchain, but to out-distribute it, to reach a wider audience and achieve true mass adoption. Get crypto into millions of hands before it even had a price, before the speculation and the hype took over. The risk? Almost zero. That was a key factor in my decision to give it a try. No money, no hardware, no complicated setups or technical expertise required, just a few seconds a day, a minimal time commitment for a potentially significant reward. The upside? Maybe, just maybe, this could be something big. I'd end up with a valuable stash of a new digital currency. A long shot perhaps, but worth exploring. So I downloaded the app with a mix of curiosity and skepticism, entered an invite code, and tapped the lightning button. The mining process began. I became a pioneer, one of the early adopters of this new digital currency, not knowing what that would mean years later. The future was uncertain, but the journey had begun. It was a low-effort experiment, a simple test to see where this project would go. If it failed, I lost nothing. If it worked, I'd be in early. A classic asymmetric bet. That's how my Pi journey began. A small step into the unknown. Curiosity, the driving force behind exploration and discovery. Skepticism, a necessary filter in the world of crypto, and a free shot at something new. A chance to be part of a potentially revolutionary project. Sometimes the smallest decisions end up being the most interesting, leading to unexpected paths and surprising outcomes. And so the daily tap routine began. A simple act that connected me to a global network of pioneers. My reason for joining Pi was simple, and it boiled down to one key concept: opportunity. I was intrigued by the potential and the unique approach they were taking to cryptocurrency. It felt like something different, something worth exploring. Asymmetric risk. The potential reward far outweighed any possible downside. This is a principle I often look for when evaluating new ventures or technologies. The downside? Non-existent. There was literally nothing to lose by giving it a try. It was a risk-free entry into the world of crypto. No money, no personal info, just a free app and a daily tap. It didn't require any significant investment of time or resources, just a simple, consistent action. The upside? If Pi succeeded, my free coins could be worth something. Maybe a little, maybe a lot, but the possibility was there. It was a chance to get in on the ground floor. It was like a daily free lottery ticket, but with a slightly higher chance of paying off, in my opinion. Why not take it? What did I have to lose? The mining was really just a way to distribute tokens and keep people engaged, fostering a sense of community and shared ownership. It gamified crypto, making it accessible and habit-forming. It lowered the barrier to entry for anyone curious about cryptocurrency. The project's vision was compelling a cryptocurrency for everyday people, not just early adopters or the wealthy. It felt like a more democratic approach to digital currency. Bitcoin and Ethereum had become exclusive. Pi aimed to be everywhere, a truly global and accessible cryptocurrency. For the price of a tap, I could be part of a new kind of crypto experiment. A social experiment even. The novelty and the promise of a peer-to-peer economy drew me in. The idea of a decentralized system, free from traditional financial institutions, was very appealing. It was a bet on a different future, one where crypto was truly for the masses. A future where digital currency is integrated into everyday life. I figured, why not see where this goes? It was a low-stakes way to stay informed and potentially benefit from the evolving crypto landscape. Sometimes the best investments are the ones with nothing to lose. It's a simple equation: no risk, potential reward. So, I kept tapping, and I'm still curious to see what the future holds for Pi. My Pi journey started almost accidentally, as a mindless daily tap on my phone. It was a simple routine, a small action in a busy day. I didn't really understand what I was doing at first, just following the instructions of a friend who introduced me to the app. There was no immediate reward, no obvious benefit, just a tap. But that simple tap slowly evolved into something more significant. It became a habit, a small commitment to a project I was beginning to understand. The app itself was constantly updating, changing and improving, reflecting the growth of the network. The community exploded. Millions joined from all corners of the globe, each with their own reasons for believing in the project. It was exciting to see so many people coming together united by a common goal. The energy was palpable, a sense of shared purpose that fueled the growth even further. And the app kept growing, adding new features and functionalities, constantly evolving to meet the needs of its expanding user base. The download statistics soared, reflecting the increasing interest in the Pi network. It was clear that something special was happening. For a long time it was just numbers ticking up on a screen, a digital balance that seemed abstract and unreal. It was hard to imagine that these numbers would ever translate into something tangible, something of real value. But still, I kept tapping, kept believing. But then the Pi browser launched, and suddenly the possibilities seemed endless. It was a gateway to a whole new world of decentralized applications, a platform for innovation and creativity. Suddenly it wasn't just about accumulating coins, it was about what those coins could be used for. It was about building something new, something better, something decentralized. It was about building a platform for decentralized apps, a space where developers could create innovative solutions, and users could interact with them in a secure and transparent way. The potential was enormous. The big moment was the Mainnet launch, a milestone that marked a significant step forward for the project. It was a moment of celebration, a culmination of years of hard work and dedication. But with a twist, it was enclosed, a deliberate decision to control the initial phase of the network's development. It was a cautious approach, designed to protect the ecosystem from external threats and ensure its long-term stability. The blockchain was live, the foundation was laid, but access was restricted. It was like a garden carefully cultivated behind a fence, waiting for the right moment to be opened to the world. You couldn't trade Pi on exchanges or connect to other blockchains just yet. This created a sense of anticipation, a feeling that something big was about to happen. The enclosed mainnet was a temporary measure, a necessary step in the journey towards full decentralization. Only KYC-verified users could migrate their coins, a process designed to ensure the integrity of the network and prevent fraud. It was a necessary hurdle, a step towards building a trusted and reliable ecosystem. And transactions were limited to within the Pi ecosystem, creating a closed loop of economic activity. This allowed the community to build and experiment within a safe and controlled environment. This frustrated many, who were eager to see Pi listed on exchanges and traded freely. The limitations felt restrictive, a barrier to the full potential of the cryptocurrency, but the team insisted it was to build real utility, to create a sustainable ecosystem before opening the floodgates to speculation. They believed that long-term value was more important than short-term gains. Before opening to the world, they wanted to ensure that the Pi network was ready to compete and thrive in the global marketplace. It was a strategic decision, a calculated risk designed to maximize the chances of success. I completed KYC, migrated my coins, and finally felt like a true participant in the Pi network. It was a sense of accomplishment, a feeling of being part of something bigger than myself, and watched as my balance became real crypto, at least within the network, a digital asset that could be used to purchase goods and services within the Pi ecosystem. It was a small step, but a significant one. The daily tap now felt like securing a stake in something bigger, a contribution to a project with the potential to change the world. It was no longer a mindless routine, but a conscious decision to invest in the future. The project had become a slow-burn experiment, a long-term endeavor with no guarantees of success. But the potential rewards were too great to ignore. In building a real usable crypto economy, the Pi network was attempting to create a new financial system, one that was more accessible, more transparent, and more equitable than the traditional system. It was no longer just a game. It was a serious undertaking with real-world implications. The stakes were high and the challenges were significant. It was a test of patience and vision, a reminder that building something truly valuable takes time and dedication. The journey was long, but the destination was worth waiting for. The journey was much longer than I expected, filled with unexpected twists and turns. But through it all, I remained committed to the project. But the evolution was real, the progress was undeniable, and the potential was still there. The Pi network was constantly evolving, adapting to the changing landscape of the cryptocurrency world. Now it's about more than just numbers. It's about the community, the technology, and the vision for a better future. It's about the potential to create a more inclusive and equitable financial system for everyone. It's about what comes next, about the next phase of the Pi network's development, about the opening of the mainnet and the unleashing of its full potential. And I'm still here, patiently waiting to see if it pays off, hopeful that the Pi network will live up to its promise and create a lasting impact on the world. The main reason I haven't sold my Pi? I can't. The enclosed mainnet means no official trading, no listings, and no cashing out. The core team warns against unofficial exchanges. Those are scams. This forced holding period might actually be smart. If Pi launched on exchanges, most would dump their free coins, crashing the price. By keeping it enclosed, the team is pushing us to focus on building real utility, not just chasing quick profits. My cost is zero, so there's no rush to sell. The project has come too far to quit now. I'm curious to see how this experiment plays out. What happens when millions get crypto before it has a price? The educational value alone is worth more than a quick cash out. I'm holding to see the end of this story. Certain updates from the Pi core team have kept my optimism alive. The detailed roadmap gave structure and showed real progress. Wallets, browsers, and KYC all rolled out step by step. The KYC solution was a game changer, proving they could verify millions and keep things fair. Getting my own account verified made my Pi feel real. Regular hackathons and a focus on building dApps showed they were serious about creating an economy, not just a coin. Seeing new apps and marketplaces pop up shifted my mindset from, when can I sell, to, what can I do with Pi? The team's clear communication about the enclosed mainnet reassured me. They're prioritizing fundamentals over hype. They're not after a quick pump, they want something sustainable. That long-term vision is rare in crypto. It's why I'm still here. The Pi community is a mix of true believers, skeptics, and cautious optimists. Some are building real marketplaces and bartering goods for Pi, urging patience and focus on utility. Others are frustrated, expecting quick profits and doubting the project's slow pace. Most, like me, sit in the middle, cautiously optimistic, watching for real progress. The best advice I've heard: focus on fundamentals, not imaginary prices. Read the white paper, explore dApps, and get involved beyond just tapping. The community's collective wisdom helps keep expectations realistic. It's a reminder that Pi is a long-term experiment, not a get-rich-quick scheme. The journey is as important as the destination. Stay curious, stay patient, and participate where you can. That's how you get the most out of Pi. My feelings about Pi swing between hope and doubt. On the hopeful side, Pi's massive user base could create a real global crypto economy. If even a fraction use Pi for real transactions, it could be huge. The vision of accessible Web3 and financial inclusion is powerful, especially for the unbanked. But doubts linger. The slow pace, the endless waiting for open mainnet, and the challenge of building real value from scratch. The dApp ecosystem is still young. If it doesn't grow, Pi could remain just numbers in a wallet. The transition from social network to functioning economy is a massive leap. Success isn't guaranteed. This is Pi's make-or-break moment. I'm watching closely to see which way it goes. The next year will be critical. Pi is a calculated gamble, but the odds are unique. Success depends on two things: mass KYC mainnet migration and real utility in the ecosystem. The core team needs to move millions to the blockchain and foster real apps and marketplaces. The open mainnet will only launch when there's real economic activity, not just speculation. The community's creativity will decide Pi's fate. I don't expect a quick launch. Building a real economy takes time. The next phase is about watching for real transactions and dApp growth. My bet is on a slow, utility-driven approach over hype. The risk is zero, so I'm letting it ride. The reward could be witnessing a new kind of digital economy. That's worth the wait. My biggest lesson from Pi: patience and long-term vision matter more than hype. Don't expect quick riches. Focus on the network, community, and utility. Treat Pi as a free experiment in building a new kind of economy. Participate, complete your checklist, and explore the ecosystem. Hold your coins and see what happens. The cost is nothing. Celebrate small wins, new apps, more KYC users, steady progress. Building something this big takes time. Skepticism is healthy, but don't ignore real progress. I'm still holding my Pi, planning to use it in the ecosystem, not just sell. The vision is bold, and the risk is minimal. For the price of a daily tap, it's a gamble I'm happy to take.